Uh,
Hey everybody, welcome to Market Moves. I'm Jason, the Wizard of Ops. And with me is Jay, aka Dark Matter. Jay, it's been a while since we've had a normal show with just you and I. How does it feel? You're either on
I
vacation or there's a guest or whatever.
I know. I'm like, am I in the right spot? Is this the right place I should be today?
Well,
Pinch me. Am I dreaming?
I tried to get what's his name, Huang from Nvidia on, but he didn't
Oh
answer.
yeah.
He didn't answer my emails.
Is he
Um,
signing, you know what?
yeah, he's like, I'm too busy. It's earnings. Um, yeah. Morning, Johannes. How are you? How you doing?
Good
All right.
morning. Good morning.
So, Jay, uh, we're in a post Jack hole world, right? We've got quite a big rally, and yeah. I mean, tell me what are you seeing?
Yeah, let's jump into it. So last week kind of played out as we expected, right? Choppy week, we sold off, right into support around 63, 50, 45 was the SPX low, right? Held
Yep.
that going into Jackson Hole. We kind of said, hey, if the move comes, it's going to come probably Friday, right? And that's exactly what we got. We hit dealer support right into Jackson Hole, and Friday massive rally, right? I think almost 100-point rally day if I remember correctly, but yeah, about 96 points was the close. So all in all, we're kind of stuck again this week in a similar range, honestly. So either you're just going to mean revert in between that range, and I think we already saw that in futures action last night, right? We hit essentially 64.80 or the equivalent of 64.80 in the SPX, and then just sold. And as of recently, I think we're about 64.50 is where the ES is trading right now. So I think again, like we're stuck in this range, 63.50, 64.80. Maybe can we pop above it and gain something? But then I think you're just going to sell again. So I think by theme in general, and we'll get into the details here, I'd like to get your thoughts. It's similar to last week.
So overall, I am until September OPEX. I'm looking at a general slow advance, probably to 6,500. So I think eventually 64.80 will pop. This week, however, I mean, I'm sure you're going to get into the Volland. This week is negative Vanna, and personally, that to me means like choppiness, especially when the higher order is positive Vanna. So overall, I think we're going to see a lot of choppiness this week. And then next week, we might start seeing a little bit more of an advance into into September options expiration. Don't forget too, we have the 6505 JPM strike in addition to the very strong 6500 positive Vanna strike. So there's a lot that's there, and I think that'll pretty much be mostly a magnet for September. But this week though will be choppy and maybe even fade a little bit lower because we do have negative Vanna right now.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. So let's hop into there and let's take a look. So in terms of just catalysts for this week, of planned events, right? We've got durable goods orders tomorrow. We do have the second estimation of the GDP, so that will come out Thursday, and then Friday is, massive one. It will kind of dictate a little bit of do we keep the rally out of Jackson Hole or does it fade, right? And I think that's potentially if we are to break one of those levels I just mentioned, up or down. I think Friday's probably going to be again the day of call it resolution potentially, but at least right now I think you're going to chop until Friday. That's my general analysis, but here's my but, and we'll get into that. We've got Nvidia earnings on
There's your
Wednesday
butt.
yeah, so this is the big one here for us weekly traders, intraday traders. Like, you either got to know what the heck they're reporting, and you know more than anyone else in the industry or the stock market, and you have insider information. Otherwise, this is where things can get a little bit weird because it's in the middle of the week on Wednesday after the close again. Your thoughts here so far?
So, I mean, I have not looked at NVIDIA closely yet. I will, and put out a paid Substack on that earnings. Um, the things I like looking at, Best Buy and Dollar General right after it is interesting. Alibaba on Friday is also interesting, although it's very hard to judge Alibaba on anything American since it's an ADR. It's mostly traded in China. But it's just these are just interesting. If you're looking for a way to get if you're looking for a little bit of volatility, while we're saying choppiness, these are, earnings is probably a good way to go. And Volland Vanna is a great place to look to get a sense of where earnings will end up, no matter really what the report says.
Yep.
Is the box there? Is that the competitor for like Google Drive and whatever?
Yes, this
Oh, okay.
is yes with the file storage. Yep.
I can't believe it's like the third, but I guess there's not, MongoDB and Okta. Yeah, I don't really know any of these earnings before
So
NVIDIA.
Okta's this is, I would say, for this week, right? Like, I'm curious how Alta's doing.
Hmm.
Obviously, like, that's the power of the consumer in a nutshell right there. People still buying makeup, right? Uh I think the other, Affirm, just I'm always curious how these buy now, pay later, their liability risk factor that they kind of report on. So I think that will be an interesting one. So, you've got those there. And obviously Wednesday is pretty jam-packed. If you look at
Yeah.
this, I mean, not only Nvidia, but you have Snowflake as well, which will move some of the, software-based names and database names in the market. You got CrowdStrike from a cybersecurity. Okta is also cybersecurity. So there's, they might not move the market per se, but these individual stocks will move this week for
Yeah.
sure.
I think, I mean, is it, as someone who I know about AI, I know about chips and stuff like that, but only generally. I'm definitely not an expert at it. Do you think the government taking 10% of Intel would hurt NVIDIA? I would think it would, because, that means that now NVIDIA's competitor is the government, right?
You would think so, but here's Nvidia still hasn't made as much of like a foothold in government contracting work, right? Like they dominate the private sector, the data centers in that
Hmm.
regard, right? I think this is an opportunity because let's say you're Lockheed or Northrop Grumman and you need a chip. Like you're not going to Nvidia today to do that, right? You're probably maybe going to TSM or whoever else is in the market. So I think ultimately this is again, I'll leave politics aside just to leave that. I think this is a huge win for America, for Intel, and even for this administration to, if they can navigate this. And here's what I mean. You now can use Intel to power a lot of your chips for those military contracts or government more specifically. It's not built offshore, it's all built onshore kind of vibes, right? So like if they can make it happen, it seems like a great move. If
Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll look at NVIDIA. I haven't looked at it yet, so sorry if might have to do it on the fly, but do have some.
we'll see how much time we have, and
Yeah,
you got your Substack again. For those curious
yeah.
what his analysis whiz is, he will be posting it on the Substack. But let's keep going. We're making some good moves. So this week's expected move, it's about 83 points. So that puts you kind of at 65.50, which is once you get past 6,500, that's like your next area of some Greeks that live up there. So just FYI. And then lower bound, you're about 63.84. So that's your expected moves. In terms of the volume profile, for those who are into the volume profile, just to call out the 6450 SPX level, which is your a high volume node, that also aligns with some of our Volland Greeks there. Our value area high, it's that 6480, right? So that also aligns with our Greeks. And then our value area low, 6350, that's also very key supportive Greek level as well. So there's a lot of correlation there. Take a look at the trade plan. You'll kind of see where the volume profile and those Vanna levels reside. I'm going to quickly skip on the VIX. I'll quick come back, but high level, essentially, you want to continue to break 6480. You have to get below 14 and a half and stay below 14 and a half. Unless positioning further changes, like that's the only way I see us like breaking out of that and holding it even is just more VIX compression, right? And some buying. But let's look at some of those dealers where they're sitting at. So I'll jump into the charts here, but my summary here is you got Gamma at 6350, 6480. So that kind of builds your ping pong effect here. Vanna is similarly around the same. Charm today is in the 6400, 6460. Let's see how that adjusts. And obviously dealers are buying as long as we're just above 6400. So that's critical, for us as we view into this week. So if I jump now over into the charts, I'll let you, Wiz, please speak as I just showcase, but I want to highlight that negative Vanna that you were talking about.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the negative Vanna for this week, but if you go into the maybe like 0 to 30 day,
yep, gotcha,
check that one out. That is very positive. And when I say very positive, I mean it's very like there's a lot positive Vanna here. That 6500 area right there is the strong move right there, and then there's 6550 right above it, and that would be the ultimate high. Like that, if we could pass 6500, it'd be tough, but we could. And if we get past that, 6550 will be kind of the final number, I think. If and then reject maybe or something like that. But that is probably the final resistance. Don't forget also, it's not seen here because it's end of September is not shown. But again, 6505 is more positive Vanna. And that's the JPM strike for the end of the month. So
I got you. Here's the big tower over almost 3 billion, 3.5 billion.
Yeah. So I mean that's an additional 3 billion in Vanna. I don't know what is VIX at right now. I don't.
Right now it is at 1508. Yep.
Yeah. So 15. You're not going to get a ton of VIX crunch. Maybe we could get down to like the 14 area. I think right now 30-day realized vol is only at like 11%. So there's that. Any kind of drop that we're going to get this week or volatility that we're going to get this week is probably a buying opportunity. And I think that, going into it from a swing time frame, you're looking at the red numbers today and getting ready to click buy in my mind, right? 6,500 and possibly as high as 6,550. Maybe PCE comes in a little light, something like that. Or cool or whatever they want to say. You get a nice little bump up to 6,500, 6,550 area. That's the spot that you want to hit. That's the spot you want to target. Yeah. And that's kind of what I see in SPX. I don't know. What do you think, Jay?
No, I'm pretty aligned with you. If we kind of look at some of the key levels there, you nailed it. I mean, between 6,400 and I don't think we're going to get to 6,350, honestly. Like, do I think maybe we're going to poke below 6,400, trigger some stop losses today here, potentially, right? But I think if you're to your point, you can get into a swing trade in between these entries and just use it as your stop loss. Like, just write it out, go, even September OPEX, or if you want to go out a little bit more in time, you can do so as well. I don't think this market's ready to sell, right? Unless Nvidia surprises, and I think, as you come out with your analysis there, what I was looking yesterday, it doesn't feel like it's going to be a bad earnings for Nvidia, and I don't think PCE will be negative as well. But again, those are things I don't know, but that's just my opinion and analysis of what I've put together.
Yeah.
So,
And also, this is this key level summary. I'm saying 6,500, and that's above his 6,480. But that's because that's this week, and I'm looking at like 3 weeks from now.
yeah,
4 weeks from now. So I mean, we're not like in disagreement. I don't think on that one.
no, we're lying. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're lying.
I do have a question. What is Section 6 commentary?
So I kind of like link all of my trade plans now.
Oh,
So like,
got
yeah. Sorry. Yep.
I thought it was like some government release or something like that. I'm like, there's Section 6 something like the FBI or I don't know, man.
Our conversations today have been on point, man. I love
Yeah,
it.
oh yeah, we're connected right now.
All right. I'm gonna so I for those of you who know, I look at different time frames of options expirations, right? So we kind of look at those like for intraday, this week span 2 weeks, right? 30 days. So I got to update this 2 weeks. I got the wrong time frame when I was building this, but I'm aligned with you. Like find support, you buy out some time here. I think today's data just looks range boundy and maybe a little bit bearish, but I think once you get out of today, get a little bit choppy, and then the rest of this week is kind of the elevation again. So I'm definitely with you. We hold this 63.50, 64 range here. I think you're pushing back up, and to your point, I think you can get up to at least 64.80 again. And if you break out of that, obviously you need VIX to compress, not to your point, like majorly. You just need to keep coming down is the key here. But yeah, my high on the week, I wouldn't go past 65.50, right? Like I think if you're just intraday trading or weekly trading, if you get near that level on the weekly on any positive news, just be happy and walk away. You nailed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, that's
I would be happy at 6,500. I've just put,
yeah, it's very true.
maybe like
100.
65.25, something like that. Be like,
Yeah.
go on vacation.
Especially those weekly options. If you nail your entry there, those can pay, right? Intraday today, I'm watching the 6,400. I think I'm going to take it a little bit slower. I traded overnight a little bit the short on this. But I think today I'm going to see how we consolidate. But this is likely the area of support, or we have another 50-point drop to look at, right? So keep an eye on that. Don't be too aggressive early in the week here. You're not going to miss out on something that's going to happen at the end of this week. So take your time with entries, but I think that, today look between 6,400 and 6,350 if there's a reaction. If not, I think we're just going to chop around consolidating above 6,400 here a little bit. So
Yeah,
that's my intraday analysis.
great. It's yeah. I mean, I intraday. I barely ever trade that because and I won't really say much for intraday. Here because there's so much zero DTE traffic that comes in. You kind of have to see how that pans out, but
that's why your charm is a magnificent Greek for intraday trading.
Yeah, you kind of have to. Yeah, you have to watch that. But anyway, all right. We don't have any comments except for Johanna saying good morning. If you guys, sorry, Shama, one of our loyal viewers. We call it, we should make this a feature on the show. Call it like the I met her because she was bagging for me at the supermarket, and she was like, "Oh, I love your show on Mondays." I'm like, "All right."
You got to give the people what they want, Wiz. You got to
like
give
the
what
bagger
they want.
special or something. We could also do the video or whatever. But anyway, the Shama special. That's what we'll call it. The Shama special this week is Apple, I think. So
Apple. All right, let me get that.
We should get a a graphic, Shama special, you know, something like that. There you go.
There we go. Love it.
We'll do a
Look at
better
that.
one next time. It'll be kind of like, you know, when CNBC, when they're like market sell off, you know, that's a big, huge thing. Like, oh my God.
Here's some
like,
graphics
yes,
are like,
down 10 points.
how about those GeoCity GIFs back in the day, the fireballs, right?
Yeah.
All right, focus here. Okay, so Apple, I'll let you go ahead. Here's the weekly. I'll pull that up really quickly, or do you want all expiration? What would you prefer?
Yeah, I mean, well, first we'll look at the weekly, and then we'll look at all expiration. I mean, Apple doesn't have any, probably other than like NVIDIA, what's that called? NVIDIA Sympathy or anything. I don't think Apple has much of a catalyst this week, right? But that's a lot of positive in up above, right? But there's also zero support below. But look at that. What's that big tower right there?
And 250.
250. That's all expiration. So over the next month, I mean, and the other thing too is QQQ has been lagging the overall market, right? So you got, you know, it might play a little bit of catch up, and you know, if we see kind of any kind of drawdown, it might be a good swing bullish trade right there to 250. What do you think?
I'm with you, and I think you know what it lines up. If you go maybe a little bit past October, November expiration, even aligns with like usually your ramp up for earnings, right? We got earnings coming up in October, right? So yes, and then you got their event coming in September. They've got a new lineup of iPhones and other products, right? So it makes sense why you would start to rally if you were behind Apple for the next, you know, few weeks. So,
yeah, a lot of times those people say sell the news, and you know, on those events, but that's not really the case. Usually what happens is you have this strong kind of Vanna look like you have right now, and you rally into the thing, but then you're hitting like the top Vanna area, and by the time the news hits and implied volatility comes down, you're at negative Vanna, and that's when you know you end up swiping down a little bit.
yeah, it's
So
not sell the news; it's all dealer triggered
yeah,
activity.
it's dealers. Dealers are releasing the hedge. Release the hedge. You know,
Yeah.
we should have a graphic for that with like a bunch of dogs. Release the hedge.
Release the gamma.
Yeah. Release the gamma. What was that? What was that movie where the guy was like, "Release the Kraken," right? Or,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
tight. Yeah.
But
We're having an awesome morning. Awesome.
yeah.
Morning.
So the Shama special, which will you know, I guess that was Jill threw that up there. We got a SHAMAH. I think we got to spell that right. Anyway, and then we could look at NVIDIA. We got some Geo. She does not have the ability to get discounts on groceries. However, you know, while he's bringing up NVIDIA, while I whenever they ask me at the grocery store, yeah, there we go. Whenever they ask me at the grocery store, would you like to round up for, you know, some poor kid in, you know, Indonesia? And I'm like, how about this? Would you like to round down for the Di Lorenzo Family College Fund? And they always say no. And I'm like, well, you know my answer. So,
That's
if
hilarious.
they round down, then, you know, hopefully they round down next time. So,
oh my. So here's NVIDIA.
ooh,
I mean, your three towers, you know, you got 180, 190, 200.
Yeah, but you got some. Are those calls on the underneath there?
That's what I'm gonna.
Yeah, go check out the gamma. Check out the gamma.
Yeah. So let me pull up gamma. Where's my gamma? Sorry. There we go. Boom.
Oh, those are calls.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this was leftover from the this is leftover from the China news, right? When it popped up to 180, 175 is a big strike. Ooh. This one can get a little dicey.
I would not be
Like
trading
this
this
is not like a
conservative.
guaranteed. It's not like a it's not like up, just run up to 200. I mean, that's the default, I guess. But if this goes down, it can go down hard. You might want to do something like a 200 butterfly and then like some puts underneath yeah, that might
Yeah.
that might be what to do, because there's a lot of gim underneath. This doesn't look like that pretty of a picture to me. But what do you
No, it
think?
looks like it looks like anything. It looks obviously 175 here, which is this tower, very supportive, right? But
Well, it's not
I mean,
supportive. Well, it's not supportive in this case because if you
true.
start dropping down, I mean,
Well, you're gonna have a bunch of dealers selling then, right?
mhm,
And you're gonna be down to 170 in no time. I think this
yeah,
is just a tough earnings
yeah.
play. Like if you're not in a position on this stock, like don't enter it. Uh, I
I would
mean,
get out of
unless
the
you,
position for earnings.
yeah,
I'd get out.
yeah, 100%. You can't be entering anything net new here. But I think your reaction is again, someone must know, right? Like they're parking a lot of money here. Now, let's see.
I I think honestly that's probably short calls from prior to the China news.
That's what I'm thinking too. Let me go back here. I wanted to change out our calls and puts. I just wanted to look at that for just a second. But to your point, so here's your Vanna puts, right?
So those are people buying puts.
Correct. Correct.
Dealers are short puts. So, but that look at that y-axis right there. That's only like in the modest millions.
Yep.
Nothing
It's not a
compared to
lot.
calls, probably.
No, and if I
You
switch that, you're 100% right. So
yeah.
boom, calls, boom. There you go.
Yeah, see, and that's now we're talking, higher millions. So I would, yeah.
It's
I
a
mean,
tough one.
if I'm doing a position, it is a butterfly around 200, right? And like, because that's like kind of your Vanna standard, and I'm buying a couple calls underneath or buying a couple puts. Uh, it won't be cheap because it's earnings, but you might want to buy some out of the money puts because if it dies, it's gonna die a terrible, horrible death.
I agree with you there. Which is why I'll stay
um,
out of it.
yeah, yeah, it probably is a stay out of it thing, but
Yeah. Yeah. Again, unless
yeah,
you've
because you
you've
have to
been
put
in
on like a comp. Once you have to put on like more than like 5 legs to make you feel comfortable, I'm out. Like,
I'll hedge myself this way and in a backwards way, hedge that
yeah,
way, and in a
yeah,
forward way, hedge that
yeah,
way.
with a ratio over here and a I'll put a box over here and a butterfly up here, and then I'm like, all right,
At that point,
out.
why are you even trading?
Yeah, yeah. And then you look at your total P&L, and it's just this straight line that makes you lose 5%. And you're like, oops.
Your P&L looks like the delta here, right? Just a
Yeah,
straight.
it's a straight line of losing 5%, and you're just like, what did I just do? Like,
That's right. That's right. All right, let's get back on track here. Do we have another
do we have a track?
ticker?
No, I think we're pretty much done. Yeah, it's been a half hour. We have no questions. So cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching, and may Volland help you in your future trading ventures.